Good morning, and welcome to Unitarian Universalist of Chester River, Fellowship of Chester River's virtual service. Our fellowship walks diverse paths to find meaning and purpose, but are united by our belief in the inherent worth and dignity of all, in the obligation to express our faith through acts of justice and compassion. My name is Harvey Wigter. I'm Vice President of the congregation. It's now time to light the chalice. I couldn't find any matches, so like this service, it's a virtual lighting. But I have a rare thought about the chalice, and this is from Albert Schweitzer. At times, our own light goes out and is rekindled by a spark from another person. Each of us has cause to think with deep gratitude of those who have lighted the flame within us. Our sermon today is being delivered by old friend Travis Smith. You'll remember him from doing services with Pat Jobe before Pat Jobe was our minister. But now here he is as a guest speaker. We welcome him today. And as you will hear, is a very pertinent message for the holidays. After Travis speaks, we'll turn it over to Mike Alec for a musical reflection, and then I'll be back to conclude the service.
I want to start off today by saying that I'm not a scientist. I'm a minister. I don't have a lot of scientific knowledge, but I do know how to read, and I do know where to go and look. And I was recently looking through a study about lions, and I found something that was really, really interesting. One of the things I found out was that you can actually hear a lion roar 5 miles away. Can you imagine that? That this creature has the vocal chops and the ability to have a ferocious roar that can be heard over 5 miles away. That astounds me. There's also something else I read, that there's a lot of misrepresentation around the lion and his roar, or her roar. One of the things that most people often think is that lions are roaring because they're angry or they feel threatened. But what I found out is that wasn't true. Lions are only awake about 2 hours a day, and out of the 2 hours that they are awake, that most of the roars that they have are actually check-ins with other lions. Their goals for the roar are simply this, that they want to check in with the other lions in the area to make sure everything's okay. You see, lions aren't roaring because they're angry or they're about to attack a prey. No, instead, they're roaring as a communal sound, meaning that they want and need to know how everyone's doing in the community of lions. That amazes me. It amazes me that lions know that they need to check in with the community, that they can't just make it on their own, that they're not in a position where they can just simply do what they want to do all of the time without being responsible for others. So they check in and they roar, and they know that their full existence is to be in an experience with each other. Winnie the Pooh is one of my favorite cartoons, and it has some beautiful lines in it. And now my southern accent can be pretty dubious here. I'm not saying lions, now I'm saying lines, just words on a page. And one of the lines that goes beyond just being an adorable children's story, and I think reverberates throughout the human condition, is a line that Piglet comes up with, and he just comes up to Pooh and nuzzles his way in and says, "Pooh, Pooh." Finally, Pooh, kind of exasperated, says, "Yes, Piglet, what is it?" And Piglet says, "Oh, nothing." I just want to make sure you're still here. You see, Piglet knew, much like the lions know, and truthfully, much like you and I know, we need to make sure each other's here. We have a responsibility to one another. We have a reason to be checking in with each other. We need that connection. And I say that probably now more than ever during the pandemic and all that we've experienced and all that we've endured, maybe we need that connection with one another now more than ever. We need to know that someone in our community cares for us. And every time that we send a text, or every time that we make a phone call, or every time that we do a march, or every time that we write letters on the behalf of those who don't have a voice, we're checking in. We're speaking up. And I want you to know today that I am proud of the work that you've already done. And I know that you will continue to do beautiful and meaningful work, because I have a hunch today from what I hear from Pat, I know is true, you all care about community too. And when you let out that roar, that check-in with each other, it makes a difference. I've always found it so interesting about energy. And one of the things that I miss the most about not being able to be in rooms with other people is the fact that the energy level is just not the same. Like even now, me standing in front of a camera, even though I'm at a beautiful location and the wind's gently blowing and it feels great here, I don't like this in terms of energy, because there's something about being together that when we are together, there's a great sense of energy that happens. I miss community in these days of the pandemic. I miss community in these times where we would be together. Maybe if this would have been another time, I would be standing in front of you in Lake Norman, and we would be soaking up the energy of being in the same room. You see, there's something powerful about being together in community. Some studies say that when we get together in a room with people that we love and they love us, that there's actually a release of dopamine in our brains. It's almost as if that being together kind of energizes us, but it also makes us happier. Studies say that it makes us 15% happier. Wow, think about that just for a moment. That you can increase your happiness by 15% by just being around others. Man, how do we miss that right now in this time? But I hope you're finding other ways to do that, whether it be through Zoom or be through Facebook or whether it be through some other technological means. I'm hoping that you're finding ways to connect with one another, because we need that. Just imagine today that if I would have told someone that I can increase their economic wealth by 15% if they attended a dinner tonight with me, I bet the line would be out the door and down the street. But in essence, when this pandemic is over and we can get back together, when you are together in a group, you're increasing your happiness by 15%. You're increasing that happiness, wealth, and joy that's within you when you're together. See, it's important to be connected. I trust that you're still finding ways to connect. You know, that's one of the amazing things that has come out of the research in the blue zones. Perhaps many of you have heard of the blue zones. It's the areas where in the world that has the most centurions, people who live to be over 100. And they take all the characteristics of that area and they look at, okay, what is it that's leading these people to be so healthy enough to be active and enjoy life for so long? And one of the things they found out in the American Journal of Lifestyle Medicine is determined that there are 9 common factors that make up all 5 of the blue zone areas. And would you believe that 4 out of those 9 all have something to do with connection to each other, social connection? By the majority of the factors listed in the blue zones to live healthier and happier lives, it's to do so in a community. Friends, we don't have to say much more than that, than to say that we are obviously in a place where we need to be checking in with each other. We need to be like the lions who know how to roar and check in. We need to be much like Piglet, just making sure someone is still there. And we need to be letting people know that we're still there. I want to encourage you today to know that your voice matters. In a community such as Lake Norman, your voice and your presence matters. At some point in time, I don't know exactly where, and I think we could all come up with different, perhaps, theories, but we have developed this idea that we are so individualistic that we don't need anyone else. And I affirm autonomy, and I affirm individual rights, but I also believe that there are times that we do need each other. One very wise says it takes a village. And indeed, it does take a village, not only to raise a child, but I think to be healthy ourselves. To have people that we can connect to and have people that we depend on and depend on us. Every cell in your body reverberates with energy when you give and you take in community. It's an energy that continues to create. It's an energy that continues to cycle. And it's an energy that I believe a lot of us are missing even now. Just like the lion, the majority of our roars should be about crying out to make sure others are okay. Than it should be ever about violence, or should it be about aggression? But we should be responsible in the ways that we take care of those we come in contact with and those that we call friends and we call community members. We live in an age of a lot of fear. We definitely live in an age of a lot of anger. We live in an age where people are quick to let out a lot of roars, extreme negativity. And I challenge us today to learn from nature, to learn from science, to learn from research that says when we connect with each other in love, when we connect with one another in compassion, when we connect with one another to get our needs met and to meet needs, something magical happens. Something happens within us and to others. That is the energy that I'm talking about today. That is the importance that I'm talking about today. So I don't know exactly what you're feeling, but I do know corporately our world is feeling isolation. Our world's feeling a lot of anxiety. So I want to encourage you this week. What can you do to reach out to those in your community? What can you do to reach out to those in Lake Norman Fellowship? What can you do to reach out to those you love and care about and love and care about you? I hope that today we will learn to roar. Roar to check in. Roar to connect. And roar to show loving kindness of humanity.
I was young and so outrageous, and the weather was contagious, but I'm sliding down that slippery slope today. Can you get your head around it? Lost until you found it. I'm looking for a little hand today. Ooh, hallelujah, what's it to? Jump on up, let it through ya. Hey, everybody's looking for a way. Hallelujah, get it through. Jump on up, let it move ya. Everybody needs a hand today. That's what I'm saying. Well, I was lost in Encinitas. I was kicked by senoritas. The sun was getting hotter by the day. Can you really comprehend it? There was no way you could mend it. I'm looking for a corner in the shade. Ooh, hallelujah, what's it to you? Jump on up, let it through ya. Hey, everybody's looking for a way. Hallelujah, get it through ya. Jump on up, let it roll ya. Everybody needs a hand today. That's right. Now I'm back in the Yazoo City, thinking moons, man, it ain't pretty. Hey, I'm selling everything I've ever saved. Hey, I don't need no silver platters. Give me one damn thing that matters. Time is rushing by me like a wave. Ooh, hallelujah, what's it to you? Jump on up, let it through ya. Hey, everybody's looking for the way. Hallelujah, get it through ya. Jump on up, let it do ya. Everybody needs a hand today. Everybody needs a hand today. Everybody needs a hand today.
Thank you, Travis, for that wonderful message. We can all take heart and learn from it for our Thanksgiving. I know it inspired me to call 2 people next week who are in the congregation who I haven't visited with for a while and just catch up with them and see how they are. Now, and also thank you to Mike for your usual good job with the music. And now for a few announcements. If you're a visitor to our virtual service, welcome. I'm so pleased you took the time to give us a try. If you like what you're seeing so far and wondering how to stay connected or get involved with our congregation, please reach out to our membership chair, Linda. Her email address can be found at the bottom of the screen. I host cocktail parties every couple of weeks. You're insured to get the drink that you want and the next one, and any snacks that you desire. The next one is early in December. I'll give you the exact date. And if you haven't tried one before, give it a try. Those who come have enjoyed them. For members, we're not passing around a basket, but would appreciate you're keeping current on your pledges. You got a letter this week, and you now know that you can send in checks or use the website or make arrangements with your bank. But the important thing is to help us continue so we can go full speed as normal life resumes. We encourage you to reach out to each other virtually as much as you can. And now, I hope you had a happy and safe Thanksgiving. And before we leave, I'd like to kindle my virtual flame with a reading from Wayne Arison. Take courage, friends. The way is often hard, the path is never clear, and the stakes are very high. Take courage, for deep down there is another truth. You are not alone. I now extinguish the virtual chalice, and I wish you all to go out and have a good week, and blessed be.